So it was Friday, 29th of December, a couple of days for the new year. They're getting into my car there now, and you can hear the brakes there. The brake lines have been tampered with again. Now all the brake fluid's gone out of the car. This is not the first time this has been done. This was done in 2020 again, where the brake hoses were cut on my car and the brake fluid was left out. And it's not so much as I worry about the car, it's just I'd be concerned about kind of my family, kind of my wife and my daughter. This time last year I spoke about how we were nearly rammed off the road at the back roads of Tramore by a car that was kind of up our arse basically following us. Then in 2017, myself and my wife, we were rammed off the road into a building. The car was wrote off. The guards closed down the investigation within 2 weeks. But yet again, my brakes have been tampered with now. Yet again, you can hear them there. Have to been cut. I've refilled it there with brake fluid, but it keeps coming out. So obviously, have to been kind of tampered with or cut in some manner. And obviously, I put up a post on Facebook there the other day, and I touched on the subject about how a certain person in Waterford got their actions covered. Basically, he was abusing one of my mates. My mates kind of killed himself over it, being honest with you. And very few people know about this. There's a couple of people know about it actually, but the chap's father and his sister asked me not to kind of make this public because I was going to, but I touched on that. And obviously I'm going to have to kind of stir in the hornet's nest. So I'm going to keep going with this. I have no intention of giving up. I'm going to keep speaking about this. Obviously I'm in court now with my ex there now in a couple of weeks. Yeah, so that's about it. So, brakes fucked. Yeah, so the brake hoses on the car will have to be cut there now. So it's an easy fix, being honest with you. But yeah, this is the third time that's after happening. I think we'll have to go through 10 cars in 7 years, myself and my wife. And obviously then if I was lying, like, when you think about it, they won't be going through this much effort, would they? So I'm obviously trying to like speak about something that they don't want me speaking about. And who do I report to? Waterford GARDA, who I'm claiming are corrupt, who has purposely misplaced documents. Do I complain to GSOC? GSOC won't even deal with my complaints now at the moment. Despite them sending me a letter apologising for mixing up my files, they still won't look into me complaints. So realistically, who do I complain to? Like, do you know what I mean? Waterford GARDA are up to their neck in this. And that person that I just spoke about there, and my mate who kind of like ended up killing himself. Years ago I used to be taking cocaine and drinking, and he used to get to a stage in the night and he used to talk about this kind of stuff, and he was always saying he was going to go home and kill himself, and then one time he did, being honest with you. But I know the ins and outs of that, and his family knows the ins and outs. And the chap's father and his sister asked me not to kind of out this stuff, but like, seeing as they're up in the ante, I suppose I better start upping the ante myself. And this is really what the whole concern is about. It's about that all this corruption, if it was really kind of taken on board and publicised, it would question the whole kind of credibility of what goes on in our government and what's being covered up, basically. And they look at me like I'm disposable. Do you know what I mean? Look at my family like they're disposable. Do you know what I mean? Collateral damage. So I'm going to keep going with this. And yeah, we'll see where that takes it. But obviously I don't have a concern about the car. Car is external. Like, I have a concern about the safety of my family, obviously. Yeah, so to continue what I was saying in the car there now, I'll bring my daughter for a walk there. Yeah, so I'm not going to stop kind of pushing for the kind of, I'm not going to stop pushing for this corruption to be out. But it shows you like the endangerment of myself and then my wife and my daughter. Like, this is ongoing, like years and years of this. It shows you that there's something very kind of like sinister that needs to come out. And the HSE are up to their neck. As I've spoken about that psychologist who roped us into that fucking stupid religion, that Baha'i thing, like, she needs to be like investigated. Because at the same time it could be lying, so they can hold me accountable like if I was. But that's who's pulling all the strings behind all this weird, because it's all psychological based. Do you know what I mean? Except now it's getting to the point where they're trying to endanger my wife and my daughter. Like, I don't really mind kind of fucking any attempts to endanger myself, being honest with you. Kind of like, I'm big, old and ugly enough to kind of like tolerate myself, being honest with you. But like, my wife and my daughter shouldn't be put through this shit, do you know what I mean? Like, realistically. And that's what's happening. Just like my mother was put through it. Do you know what I mean? Just like my in-laws were put through it. That's what's going on. And the Minister of Justice needs to like finally step up there now. And even to push for kind of an inquiry into this, to kind of uphold the integrity kind of our own constitution, like, and the democracy, or the supposed fucking democracy in Ireland, let's be honest about it. Do you know what I mean? out this kind of corruption. And the reason it is this corrupt is because people fucking take this shit all the time. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I'm not using bad language. I'm trying to refrain from using so much bad language there, but people are like bullied into this and no one will stand up to it, being honest with you. And I kind of understand why, because this is at the cost of me a lot now, being honest with you. Don't really want to get into it now. But even walking around here now with my fucking daughter, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's been a while since I've done this kind of stuff, and I've only realised there now what I'm missing. And I'm going to kind of continue doing this kind of stuff. But over the next few weeks there now, I'm going to talk about what happened in that courtroom in Waterford and what that solicitor done and me ex. And they don't want me talking about this. And that's what triggered all of this stuff. And it's not about me saying fucking alleging this or alleging that or taking her name or slandering her. I'm just going to talk about events that happened, that all have a paper trail and can be proven. And I think personally, as a man, like, if women are behaving in this manner, like, they should be called out for it. Do you know what I mean? They shouldn't be left hide behind courts. Yeah, so the intention is there now is to kind of tamper with my car, make us feel endangered. This is an ongoing thing, being honest with you there now. Basically trying to push us into kind of like living like hermits in an apartment. You're outside, you're socially fucking followed and kind of more or less stalked by these group of assholes, being honest with you. And a lot of them are linked to Sinn Féin. And it's not me attacking Sinn Féin at all whatsoever, but they are, like, it's a matter of fact. The amount of people that have booked in for tattoos over the past month and then cancelled like an hour beforehand. Do you know what I mean? I've never met so many fucking snakes in all my life. And I'm not having to go with everyone, because there is kind of like people who genuinely have to cancel, and I understand that. There's a lot to be said for the people you can trust. So socially, there's been a severe drive over Christmas there now to try and shut down what I'm trying to kind of push out into the public mainstream. And yeah, basically destroyed any kind of tattooing kind of fucking, I won't say business, because I only ever done it as a hobby, but like, yeah, they destroyed all that, I have to say, because I was showing messages and emails of really what this is all about. So they're trying to socially exclude myself, my wife and my daughter basically from society in Waterford, and that's what's going on. But it doesn't really bother me, because I'm not really that social, if I'm being honest with you. But like, my wife and my daughter shouldn't be put through this kind of stuff, do you know what I mean? Especially when our Minister of Justice is aware of what's going on, do you know what I mean? The amount of stuff that I've sent up to the Minister of Justice there now, she needs to put her finger out there now, push for an inquiry. And at the end of the day, if there's nothing to kind of hide, sure, what's the problem? Unless, of course, they already know what I'm trying to fucking push into the mainstream is very, very true. And to be honest with you, they do know. Multiple people knows, up in the highest of the highest echelons. And what's been covered up for 20 years is continued to be covered up. They're back to trying to endanger my family and myself. Sorry, there's turn. In an effort to try and provoke me, and kind of like, they think that I'm feeling under pressure or kind of like something along the lines of that. I'm not though. I'm prepared to kind of go all the way with this. I knew this wasn't going to be easy at the start. I'm surprised at the amount of snakes that I have close to me, if I'm being honest with you. So-called friends that haven't the courtesy to answer even a fucking message now, do you know what I mean? But sure, such is life. Yeah, I intend to keep going now in 2024, and I'm Minister of Justice. I'd like to think that there's a clue in the word justice should be pushing for an inquiry into all of this. Because if I'm offering evidence, I'm not offering allegations, I'm offering evidence, documentation and evidence. It should be looked into. And these people need to be removed from our government. Yeah, so I'll leave it there for now. Just a quick upload, just to kind of highlight what's going on. Thanks, bye. So it's later, Friday evening there now. And as suspected there now, the brake hoses on my car were tampered with now. My wife reminded me, this is actually the third time that that's done on 3 different cars, the same incident, someone tampered with the brakes on my car. So obviously that's kind of an issue, do you know what I mean? Well, you would think so. We're also rammed off the road in Polebury. Car was kind of wrote off. Case was closed within 2 weeks. Car was closed that. And then this time last year, we were nearly rammed off the road when I highlighted that some of the views of my videos had jumped from, I think they were on 90, and they jumped up to over 15,000 or 14,000. And that's why I was talking about the involvement of David Cullen and Sinn Féin. And that was the threatening behaviour that was implemented after that, basically. So on the way back from Dungarvan, myself, my wife and my daughter, I think there's videos on this if you go back and look. and a car tried to push us out over the cliff road when we driving back there from Dungarvan on the back roads to Tramore. Yeah, so in a couple of days there, I'm going to talk about kind of that whole kind of court fiasco down in Waterford with my ex. And I've said this in kind of in the previous kind of videos. Like, it's not about me taking her name or slandering anyone or something about this. It's about me speaking the truth and standing up for myself, basically. And that's what I'm going to do. And like, her actions kind of speak for themselves, if I'm being honest with you. As simple as that. They're not the actions of a normal person, if I'm being honest with you. And you can make your own minds up regarding that. But I'm going to highlight all this kind of stuff, whether it's kind of me brakes being tampered with, or kind of like so-called builders up above us constantly making noise when my daughter's trying to go to sleep, which has been going on all over Christmas. Like, I just haven't really kind of spoken about it, because I wanted to wait to the new year to kind of talk about what was after happening in that court. Because at the end of the day, like, some of this might kind of be thrown in my daughter's face, who's up in Dublin with me ex. So like, I kind of was hoping to put her first and kind of like hold off on talking about any of this. But yeah, you can tell it's getting pretty serious there now, and I'm expected to kind of like back down, because I'm supposed to feel somewhat kind of threatened or endangered and stuff. Like, I don't feel threatened or endangered. I got rid of the car in the morning, it wouldn't bother me the least. I'm surprised by the amount of snakes that are like refusing to kind of answer me texts when I text them there. Obviously there's a few people who do answer, and they know who they are. I don't need to talk about them. There's a lot of people, let's just say, with half finished tattoos, so fuck them. From next year onwards there now, which is kind of 2 days time, I'm going to start talking about what began all this, and I'm going to start pushing the Minister of Justice to finally push for an inquiry into all of this. And you can just push for the very first part of this. I'm talking about the corruption of Tussle and a psychologist that's employed by the name of Anne Carey in Waterford, Tussle. And if you just look into that, that's the beginning of that. And if I'm deemed to be lying, or if it's unfounded, you can dismiss everything else that I say. But if that turns out to be true, you should look into the next thing. And that's the same kind of approach maybe should be taken on that. If it's deemed to be unfounded, you can shut down the whole lot of my case. But if I'm able to add documentation and support what I'm saying, like, this kind of corruption, like, should be a serious concern. Do you know what I mean? When you think about it, like look what I'm after alleging when you think about it, and look what they're alleging about me. Like, I'm okay with half the stuff about me, like, investigate it first. That's fair enough. Do you know what I mean? I'm okay with that. I can't be any more transparent. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's, yeah. So it's another year, and yet again, like, me fucking wife and me daughter now will be fucking like focused upon now to endanger their lives, just like me mother was, and just like fucking me in-laws, and kind of this is what goes on, and this is what's going on. Do you know what I mean? And this is not because I'm lying, just because certain people have a lot of shit that they need hidden, and I'm willing to talk about it, whereas everybody else is willing to tiptoe around these people. Yeah, so that's it. So I'll be back in touch in a couple of days, and my wife's going to help me talk me through kind of that whole fiasco in court, and then I'll show documentation, and I'll take it from there. So leave it there. Happy New Year to you all.